This is the Retirement Bullpen with Richard Warner. The team at Warner Financial Solutions want to help you feel confident about your retirement, no matter where you stand. Get more at warnerfinancialsolutions.com. Now, the Retirement Bullpen.
All right, we're stretching out. Here we go. We are back in the Retirement Bullpen, everybody. Welcome to the show. Richard Warner is your host, retirement income certified professional, and of course, the founder of Warner Financial Solutions in Auburn, Nebraska, and the greater Omaha area. Get in touch with Richard and the team. I got to say that right off the bat. I don't want you to forget. It's warnerfinancialsolutions.com. And hey, use that old-fashioned rectangular phone thing in your hand, 402-274-9185. And of course, be sure to go to warnerfinancialsolutions.com, check out the newsletter, past episodes of the podcast, the whole bit. I want to roll that red carpet right after you, Richard. I'm your co-host, Doug Turnbull. Sir, how you doing today?
Doing great. Thanks, Doug. Thanks for having me again.
It's good to be back on here. And you and I both are baseball fans, past the Super Bowl now. Of course, I'm a big NASCAR fan. I'm not going to quiz you or get you to emote about that. But you, sir, are a baseball fan and a baseball coach even. I got excited because my Atlanta Braves pitchers and catchers reported just the day before we recorded this show. And I think you beat them to the draw.
Yes, my high school team pitchers and catchers reported actually January 2nd.
Wow.
They start throwing a couple times a week indoors till we get to practice. Full practice starts March 2nd or 3rd for us, something like that. But yeah, I'm excited too. My family wasn't excited by the outcome of the Super Bowl, but I'm excited football's over and it's time for baseball.
Ain't that the truth? Yeah.
I got a lot of Chiefs fans in my household. So
I think any fan of football that just wanted to see a good competitive game probably wasn't too happy about the outcome of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Is it harder? Yeah, just the fact that you think about major league teams are reporting either to the Cactus League Southwest or to Florida. They start a little bit later than your teams. Is it harder when it's just darn cold there in Nebraska to do that? Is it harder to practice inside? The only times I played baseball, I was outside, but that was when I was a kid.
It is a little limiting. We have an okay place to do it here. Some places have much nicer. And as we're recording this, we have snow coming down, which is probably going to delay us getting outside for our first week of practices by a week or so, depending upon how long it takes for this snow to melt. So yes, there's only so far you can get away to throw to each other and that sort of thing. So I know the guys get tired of it when we have been inside early on in the season. They love to get outside. So.
Yeah, I hear you on that. It's more fun, man. Just especially the smell of cut grass and the spring smells, all that, once those finally come around. Well, the last couple of episodes here, and I love this show, we just break it down one topic by one topic, and we covered retirement healthcare costs and also lifestyle costs or lifestyle adjustments, if you will, in retirement. Today, we're going to break down just one key element that especially our older retirees have to tackle, and that is the RMD. So can you define what the RMD is, Richard, and then just start to open that up a little bit and see what we got?
Yeah, so I'll start with some definitions of RMDs because there's a lot of misinformation I don't know if misinformation is the right way to put it, Doug, but there's a lot of confusion, that's for sure. I've met people, and I won't name names to get them in trouble, but I've met people mid to late 70s and had no idea they had to take money out of their IRA. I just had met them, so obviously we got that fixed for them. But it can create problems. It can create penalties. What an RMD is, it's a required minimum distribution that you have to take out of a qualified retirement account. Now, a lot of people get confused. Well, what kind of account does that mean? Okay. Basically, to make it simple, any account that you put money into while you worked, you could have been self-employed, had your own IRA, SEP IRA, solo 401k, you could have worked for a company. They put money into that account. You put money in. It's money that's never been taxed. It grows tax deferred. That pile gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger over time, but the big pile of money has never been touched by the IRS. And in today's rules, it used to be 70.5. They got changed to 72. Now it's 73. By 2033, it's going to go up to 75.
Wow.
Is that age. I know there's a lot of change. Secure Act 1.0 made some adjustments. The 2.0 made some more. So as time goes on, the required minimum distribution age increases. But if you're turning 73 this year, you need to pull a percentage of your qualified account out. And it's essentially based on the value of the account on December 31st of last year. You should be getting forms in the mail from your carrier by now. But it's an amount you have to take out, including your taxable income, and then away you go.
Gotcha. So it's amount you take out. Is it based on the 4% rule, quote unquote, or does the amount vary per amount of money? Is it a graduated rate, kind of like the income tax brackets are?
That's a great question. So it starts out, a lot of people think it's 4%, and it actually starts out a tad under 4%.
Okay.
Technically, there is a divisor that the IRS has. Every year you get older, that divisor goes down, which means the percentage slightly goes up. I kid with people, but when you get to 115, you got to take 50% out roughly. So it's a big amount. So it does increase over time. Now, obviously, most of us aren't making it to 115, so we don't have to worry about that year of taking 50% out.
I think I've seen in the news, though, this year, at least one 120-year-old has died already in 2025. Okay. So
seriously?
I think so. Or 119-year-old. Like it's,
wow.
Yeah. So it's, there's somebody out there. And that seems, I know you're a mid-thought, but like if they want you to take 50% of your qualified account out and you're that old, it's like, gosh, man, what if this person does live longer? They're going to be old and poor, Yeah. That's tough.
Yeah.
But so they have a divisor, and the number based on that divisor from the IRS starts to go up as you get older.
The divisor actually goes down, but the percentage increases.
Okay.
But yes. So technically, the number you got to take out, that's what we're getting at. The number you have to take out, it does increase percentage-wise as you get older. So if your account is if you're only taking your RMD out, your account, depending upon what you have it invested in, is probably growing at a little bit faster pace than that RMD. So the amounts you have to pull out every year are getting a little bit bigger, and a little bit bigger, and a little bit bigger. So that creates some tax issues sometimes.
For sure. And then, of course, you're taking that money out to pay taxes, which factors into whatever other streams of income you have in your life. And then there's some tax bracket management to go on there too. So how do you walk people through that? So let's say I'm just going to use two basic examples. Someone has, I'm just going to use round numbers, 100,000 in Roth, 100,000 in 401k. 401k is qualified. You have to start taking out of that at age 73. And then maybe you're taking some out of an annuity or a Roth or something like that. Now you're having to start pay taxes, and it can start to add up along with your Social Security benefits too. So how do you strategize to make sure that people don't get dinged too far?
Well, if you're turning 73 this year, there's not much you can do about it this year. You're going to have to take out what you have to take out. Yes, you brought up an interesting point. Roth IRAs, a lot of people think they have to take required minimum distributions out of those. They don't. If they did, they weren't taxable, but you don't have to pull one out of your Roth. But when you have to take that number out of that IRA account or 401k account, you have to pull it out. It has to be added to your taxable income. Where you fix that is on the front end or earlier in retirement, Doug. You really look at strategies, and this is what we try. We actually did a tax workshop last night. We talked a little bit about this in the workshop, is you really work on seeing, can I take some of that IRA, that pre-tax money, and begin converting it to a Roth IRA. So when I get to 73, 74, 75, maybe I have reduced the amount of my required minimum distribution. Maybe I've eliminated it altogether. Regardless, I have reduced my overall tax bill down the road. Now, the key is you want to do it in a structured manner so you're paying as little taxes as possible when you're converting.
Sure.
Some people say, well, let's just convert everything over. And well, that takes a big tax hit that year. So you may never recoup that in your life. You'd be better off taking the RMDs.
Yeah.
So once we get to the year, there's not much you can do other than one strategy that works for some clients is what's called a QCD, a qualified charitable distribution. And so if they're giving money to a nonprofit or a charity, their church, charity, whatever it might be, anyway, you can set up what's called a QCD, which basically takes that required minimum distribution or some of that required minimum distribution and automatically transfers it to that 501c3. It avoids you, meaning you don't pay taxes on it. It doesn't get put on your 1040 form, but it passes on to the nonprofit so they get the gift you wanted them to receive. And it also qualifies you for the required minimum distribution. So you save some tax money in that scenario. But obviously that only works if you are taking the RMD and you do indeed want to give some of that money away. A lot of people do. A lot of people in retirement do give money away. It has to be a 501c3, but it is a way to reduce and minimize the taxation.
I see. Yeah, the QCD, then it's not the tax ding isn't coming off of you. You're saving having to pay the taxes on that.
Correct.
That's a good thing. Well, I know there's a lot of strategy involved in all this. If someone's listening to this right now and they're going, "Wait, what? I didn't even know that existed." RMD. That sounds like, like some game my grandson plays on an Xbox or something like that. What is an RMD? And they want to talk to you. What's the best way to set up that appointment and not only start the talk about RMDs, but the rest of financial and retirement planning?
So what we would do in that situation, first, just reach out, give us a call. Call our office. We would set up a time to visit with you. And sometimes that's maybe just a quick 15-minute phone call over the phone just to get an idea about your situation and see, is there some things we can potentially help you out with? My guess is there is. We would sit down and we would utilize some software that we have that really is designed to map out your tax situation. We call it a tax map. And if you came in, you'd see that tax map. It shows you where you are. And then we could make some adjustments and show you where we could be down the road by doing certain things. Now, again, keep in mind that if you're already at RMD age, there's limited things you can do. You want to get ahead of this if you can. That doesn't mean if you're 73, 74, don't call, because there's still some potential things we can do for the next few years. But if you're early on in retirement or you're not even to retirement yet, this is where you can really take advantage of some of these strategies, specifically Roth conversions, where you're taking your qualified money, moving it into tax-free money, so that as you get to this RMD age, we can reduce your overall tax burden, especially if taxes might be higher down the road.
Oh, for sure. So you give them the roadmap too. And then other things I know you want people through. I mean, Medicare planning, Social Security maximization, the retirement income plan, Roth conversions, wealth management. I mean, it's a one-stop shop there at Warner Financial Solutions. And that number is 402-274-9185. And you can also book a meeting. I mean, I see the tab right in front of me there, schedule a meeting, top right of the page, right next to the phone number. You can schedule a meeting at warnerfinancialsolutions.com. There's also the media tab where you can listen to our past podcasts and just get caught up. And you guys are on Facebook as well, so sharing some good articles and just posts and things that can keep people informed. Now, one other thing that you and I have not talked a lot about in our past episodes is going out in the community and just meeting with people and doing some education. So coming up toward the end of this month, you actually have something going on 2 different dates, right?
Yes, we do. We are doing a Social Security and tax workshop, 2 of them in Omaha. Tuesday night and Thursday night, the 25th and the 27th, they start at 6:30. So if you would be interested in attending, we'd love to have you. Probably the easiest way would be to reach out through phone to register for that. We're going to really go into Social Security from how to maximize it, get the most out of it, specifically from the tax standpoint. So we're going to talk a little bit about these RMDs in there. We're going to talk a little bit about Roth conversions. Now, I actually won't be at the first one. I'll be coming back from a mission trip, but I will be at the second one. So my partner Rick is going to be doing the first one, but he's probably much more entertained than I am anyway. So, but anyways, so you'd get a lot out of it if you were there. If you can't make those, obviously you can always give us that call and we can sit down. We can meet in your office in Omaha. We can meet at your home, whatever's most convenient for you. The idea would be just to look at your overall scenario from that tax standpoint. How do we minimize those RMDs? Because I've met a lot of people that those RMDs kind of shock them when it happens, and it can create a big tax mess from a standpoint of, yes, it affects your Social Security. Sometimes it affects your Medicare premiums and so on and so forth.
That is a tax mess. We don't even like the word tax by itself, much less if you put that 4-letter word mess right after it. So if you want to go to one of these workshops with either Richard or Rick from Warner Financial Solutions, you can call 402-274-9185. And there'll be some more events later on in the year too. And of course, we'll look forward to not only catching up with you about all that, but also about that mission trip too. I'm so excited to hear about it. Something I've done before in my life as well. Well, Richard, thank you so much for explaining RMDs to us and getting me to at least know the difference between RMD and an RPG. Okay. Like I just, it's not a role-playing game, required minimum distribution. And I'm going to keep learning here little by little from you. So I'm glad you are able to share that with us, sir.
Hey, thanks for having me, Doug.
Hey, it's good to be on here. Thank you so much, too, to our producer, Brandon Benefield, who gets these shined up, polished, and put out the show and published for you. Brandon does a great job with that. And we thank you all for listening. Be sure, go to Apple, Spotify, other podcatchers, or just hit the media tab of warnerfinancialsolutions.com and get caught up on past episodes. If there's someone in your circle that needs to hear about this, all right? Maybe you have your cards in order, but your sister doesn't. your son does it, your brother does it, be sure and send them the link and get them going there. Don't just keep this good advice to yourself. Thank you so much for listening to the Retirement Bullpen. He is Richard Warner, Retirement Income Certified Professional. I'm Doug Turnbull, and you all have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Warner Financial. Warner Financial is also an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. IPW does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Warner Financial are not subject to investment advisor requirements. NPN number 7617022. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be considered as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual situation. Warner Financial is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Warner Financial.